I don't know what other word to call it. They're definitely something. So yeah, messed up. Let's go. He's literally a psychopath with a little bit of a god complex. Oh, he's a good person. He's gonna die. Hi guys, welcome back to another Rants video. Today we're gonna be talking about, it's not exactly a franchise because there's only 2 movies in it, but I don't know what other word to call it. We're gonna talk about the Mad Max movies. They are not everyone's cup of tea. I'm well aware of that. Personally, I kind of enjoyed them. They're ridiculous. They are ridiculous. But what little story happens in Fury Road, and you know, the whole lot of story that happens in Furiosa, I enjoy them. They're cool. The concepts are cool, and the plot and like the story stuff that happens is very cool. It's just some of the things that they do with this world are absolutely ridiculous, and but it works because everything to some degree in this movie is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Mad Max Fury Road and Furiosa. They're something. They are definitely something. Mad Max is probably the more ridiculous of the two because pretty much the entirety of the movie is them just riding around on souped up, crazy post-apocalyptic cars and fighting each other. That is what's happening through the entirety of Fury Road, and their goal is just to get to this place. And so the entirety is just the journey. And then they get there and realize, oh, things aren't actually what we thought they were. New plan, we're gonna go take over the place we came from. And so then they do the whole journey in reverse to take over the place they came from, because everything's desert at this point. They destroyed the world, so it's all arid. And so everyone's struggling to survive and are all pretty much going insane. And then there's the Citadel, where they actually have resources and plants and water and all of that. So yeah, but it's ruled by a horrible gangster dude who has clear breastplate. Like, he has clear armor. It's so strange, but whatever. And he requires this creepy mouth respirator mask thing to breathe. I do like that we, at the end of the movie, realize when if he like opens his mouth enough, it does, like, the mask opens, and that's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. It's ridiculous, but it's interesting. So yeah, it's just here's Max. He gets captured by, I just remember the soldiers are like Half-Life soldiers. I don't remember what the syndicate is called. Anyway, gets captured and brought to the Citadel to be used as a blood bag. So basically he's like, hey, you're a universal donor. We're gonna strap you up in a cage, and whenever our Half-Life soldiers are in need of a blood transfusion, it's your job. So yeah, messed up. But gets roped into that, and so then is brought along in a fight because the guy he's hooked up to is just super, super determined to be in this fight. Because the leader, guys, I can't remember his name at the moment. I've been watching too many random movies in the interim of shows since my brain is still not letting me start a new show after Fate. But we'll get there eventually, probably week after next, because I'll be gone all next week. Anyway, yeah. Now I lost my train of thought. That guy's, one of his lieutenants, Furiosa, escapes with his wives. So basically, not people who are not tainted, I guess, by the deserts, kind of. And they just use them as breeders, essentially, and he's trying to get a full-life baby boy as an heir, and so it's messed up. So she runs off with 5 of them, and they're trying to get to Furiosa's homeland, which she was kidnapped as a child and taken away, and eventually ends up at the Citadel. And they're trying to get back there, and then he finds out that Furiosa betrayed him, so he sends like everybody after him, which includes this guy that's being used as that's using Max as a blood bag, and so he's just like, nope, bring my blood bag, let's go. And then things happen and he escapes, and then because of that joins the fight joins the escape attempt with Furiosa, mostly out of selfish intent. Just like, I need to get out of here because otherwise I'm going to die. I don't want to die. And I can manipulate Furiosa because she has a lot of collateral here that I can manipulate her with because she cares about them. So yeah, gets into it for very selfish reasons, and then, gets more involved and more attached and all the things. Because, of course. Yeah, get all the way across the desert, find out, no, that your homeland got corrupted, like the water went bad and killed everything. So we're all that's left and we're living on our own in the middle of the desert. It's like, oh crap, so we just keep going. And then Max goes, oh, actually, we left this green place, the Citadel. We should just go take over that. And so they go and they take over that, and there's fights and there's giant climactic road fight where they kill the dude, and then they bring his head back to the Citadel and go, hey, he's dead, we're in charge now. And yeah, that's how it ends. It's a very simple thing. There's just so much happening because it's just a continual fight pretty much all the way there to the green place and back to the Citadel. And then we have Furiosa. Yeah, this is the new one that came out, and so there might be some spoilers if you haven't seen it at this point, which most people who care have, because, it's been out like a month or so. But yeah, this one is more story-driven, and so there's more to talk about. It has Anya Taylor-Joy as young Furiosa. She does amazing. Love Anya Taylor-Joy. And yeah, that's pretty much just the entirety of Furiosa's story from when she was taken as a child. And the last scene is her bringing the wives out to the war machine. What they call it. It's not war machine. It's not a war machine. It's the war something. I can't remember right now. It's awful. Bringing them out to that so that she can help them escape. And so basically it leads up to literally whenever she shows up in the original movie. Original, apparently there's one made prior to that. But anyway, first one. We'll just say the first one. Yeah. It's very cool seeing all the different stages, I guess, of her life, and going from, hey, this is the green place, this is what it was, all these stories that we heard from her in the first movie, and then gets taken and having her mom chase her down and just start murdering people in order to save her daughter's life. And then it, eventually fails. Then we have Chris Hemsworth character, who is just literally a psychopath with a little bit of a god complex, who takes her and makes her watch him desecrate and kill her mother. And I love from that moment on her choosing, I'm not going to speak. I'm not speaking all the way until I get to the Citadel. And she gets asked, hey, is this your father? Do you want to stay with us? Blah, blah, blah. Things like that. And she just goes, no, he's not my dad. Take me with you, please. This place seems better than where I've been. And so then, explaining, she ends up in the Citadel. And then explaining through a series of events how she ends up as a lieutenant and driving it's driving me nuts that I can't remember what the war machine is technically called. War rig. I figured it out. War rig. How she gets to the point of driving the war rig. Yeah. Lots of cool things. We go have her start out as, hey, you're a full life. And you're, kind of a perfect little girl. So they put her in with the wives, and then she escapes, and then poses as a guy to work as a mechanic, so that she still has kind of this life that she wanted at the Citadel, but not, to be used that way. So working as a mechanic helps build the war rig, and then stows away because she wants to, on the bottom of it with a motorcycle, because her goal is, I'm gonna ride this thing as far as I can and then ride home. Because the entire time she's going, I made my promise to my mother right before I left her, so she could distract them long enough for me to hopefully escape, was that I would make it home no matter how long it took. And so she has like a tattoo of basically a star chart on her arm so that she can navigate home, and basically everything she does, she's trying to get home, trying to get the opportunity to escape so that she can make it home. And having that driving force behind every single decision that she makes is very fun and very cool. And so then she's on the war rig. Things go south. There are things that are broken, and the mechanic on board gets killed. And so then she just takes over. And in the midst of this fight, it's just her and the driver left. And it's revealed, hi, I'm a girl. And I'm good at fighting people on this thing. And so he offers, like, hey, be my partner, be my second hand, my right hand person. I can teach you the skills you need to get out of here. And so she agrees to that. And so then and the driver, I can't remember his name now either. He's literally the only sane and good person in the entirety of this universe. So from the moment that he showed up on screen and showed any kind of relevance to the plot, I went, oh, he's a good person. He's gonna die. And I was just waiting for him to die. And so they were just building up his character and building up your love for this character until they killed him. And in a horrible, horrible way. He was dragged behind motorcycles getting eaten by dogs. Just in a circle. For an entire day. For almost 12 hours. And it's just like, this is awful. And they also have the implication that he and Furiosa have a romantic thing going on. And again, it's Chris Hemsworth's character. And he's getting revenge because they managed to kind of destroy. Because it's the Citadel, Gastown, and the Bullet Mine. And Hemsworth's character took over the Gastown, which is how he got in with the Citadel people and all that. And then takes over the Bullet Farm. And so they go to get bullets to go to war with Hemsworth's character at Gastown, and he's there and ambushes them, and they destroy some critical parts of Bullet Farm. And so he tries to get revenge. And so he's doing that, and he's making Furiosa watch again as he kills someone else that she loves. And she has a horribly broken arm because they crash right before they get caught. Because they were trying to escape to the green place together. It's like, oh, sweet. Anyway, yeah, it makes her watch. And then the one thing that doesn't make as much sense is she basically rips her throat because they string her up so she can't run away. And Hemsworth's character goes strung up by her broken arm, which is severely broken in scripts. And then when he goes to be like, okay, be done with this guy, we're gonna switch. And he goes and she ripped her arm off or cut her arm off or something. But she also had guards on her. So that's the only thing that doesn't really make any sense. But yeah. It's something I can easily overlook. Because it's like, okay, but that's how? But also, it's, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of dust being kicked up by them going in circles with the bikes. We just noticed that the guard behind her, because he had been soft on her and been like stringing her up by her good arm, and Hemsworth's character goes, no, you idiot, you lost your touch, strings her up by her bad arm. And apparently Reese saw him like shading a machete or something in the background when they have the scene where where Hemsworth's character goes around and sees that her arm is gone. So he's just like, oh, maybe she helped her. I don't know. It's in one way or another, her arm was ripped off and she escaped. And then, yeah, goes back to the Citadel. because she doesn't have the resources to make it back. So literally walks back to the Citadel. It starts, Wasteland Wars or whatever, 40-day Wasteland War between Hemsworth's character and his own, army, and then the Citadel and the Half-Life soldiers and all that. She makes a mechanical arm, gets herself out onto the battlefield to hunt down Hemsworth's character, because at this point he's like, nope, he needs to die. He killed the 2 people in my life that I love. He needs to die. So tracks him down and sort of kills him. So she plants a tree, and her and Driver, good guys, secret place where they would meet up and hang out and talk and do, the romantic things. Don't take that the wrong way. They don't do anything. But anyway, which is a great thing. Anyway, it implies that she, busts him and then drags him back to that spot and plants a tree in him, because this entire time she's carrying around a peach pit, because when she got kidnapped, there was a peach with her. And so her mother saves the pit, gives it to her, and goes, promise me you'll make it home, and then you'll plant the seed. And so she's been carrying that around the entire movie. And so then it's implied, hey, she dragged this very wounded man to this little mountain cliff thing and planted a peach pit in him. And so now he is the soil for a peach tree. It's gross. It's a horrible, horrible fate. And it's a very, very gross fate. But yeah, those are the general ideas. That's the general idea of what happened in that one. It's divided into chapters, which seems to be a thing happening in more recent movies, because Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes did that, and there were other ones. I cannot think of them at the moment for some reason, but there were other ones as well, where they had it in chapters where it's a black screen with a title card, and then it goes into the next section of the movie, which isn't weird, isn't a bad trend, but you do have to be very particular about what kind of movie you're putting it into, because Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, it kind of made sense, because it was this is kind of shifting point. This part of the story has ended, and now we're kind of starting a different one. It was also a long movie. And then this one was a fairly long one too, but it's this part of her story has ended. We're getting into this part of it. And there were more chapters, I guess, in this one. Usually they accompany a time skip, so that also made sense. But yeah, chapters in movies is a thing now. Yeah, I enjoyed both of them for different reasons. In all honesty, I think I preferred Furiosa, just because me being the way I am, with very much being into, okay, build the world, build the character, build the story, but make all of the things work together. That personally, I enjoyed the Furiosa bit more, just because there was more of that happening, and it was straight up just deep dive into the story of Furiosa, and there was more story elements happening, and so I enjoyed that a little bit more. I know my brother disagrees with me, and he goes, I love that the other one is just action all the time, and the cars and whatever else. I'm no, that's not the part I enjoyed. The part I enjoyed about the first one with Fury Road was the aspect of the wives trying to escape and having this legend, essentially, of the screenplays, and have the more story, the story elements, I guess, were what really got me into the Fury Road in the first place. And so having the Furiosa dig more into the story elements of that, I enjoyed it personally more, just because I am very much a story obsessed person. So yeah, I enjoyed Furiosa a little bit more, just because more story driven and more character driven, and so it was just more enjoyable for me. But anyway, yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Mad Max franchise. I still don't know if that's the right word. What would you guys call it? It's only 2 movies, so it's not exactly a franchise, but it's not a sequel, and Furiosa is not it's sort of a prequel, but also not exactly. I don't know. I really don't know what to call it, so we're just gonna keep calling it a franchise. those are my thoughts on the Mad Max franchise. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's very, very much like a very, definitely a very niche, I guess, style of movies. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed them personally. They're not like up there with my top 10 or anything, but they're enjoyable, and it's not like something I would scorn watching again. Yeah, better than some things I've watched this year. Yeah, that's all I got. Feel free to drop your guys' thoughts in the comments along with any requests or recommendations that you have. I post videos on this channel every Wednesday and Saturday and on the audiobook channel on Thursdays. I'll see you all next time.